Deva, and we will take a look at all these documents together, and from the summary of one of them to make the conclusion for the step 4. So after that, we will go into the rest of all the milestones. I think those would provide us all the hints how we can reach that. So firstly, about step 4. I would like to get a report from Mr. Deva. Is he here? Or maybe online? You are here. So come here, sit here. Yeah, directly. Take your laptop. I need you to all the, yes, you can. I can share the. Okay, so I asked Mr. Deva sitting beside me. I think he's the one who are most familiar with all these documents. So I want to ask him to introduce all the results from the email discussion and to take a look at all these documents and seek your approval for these documents. So all these documents you could find from the share folder. So maybe easier for you to review all. So we started from a history document. The first one is the revision to the MT 2020-90. So that is a history document for ARIB MT 2020.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and sorry for joining late. I was thinking you will ask me to summarize from my chair, so I did not prepare for the screen sharing. Thank you, and I'd like to thank, there were 7 documents that were assigned for the offline discussion and to collect the inputs from all the IEGs to verify the outcome. So this is the history document for the ARIB evaluation group. We had one interim report in meeting 47 and then the final report in meeting 48. So we have added both the documents to this history document, and this was confirmed. All the links and everything was also verified. Thank you.
Thank you. So that is just a simple page. I think the only update is about the last row of this table. Is there any difficulty with this document? Seems not. Then I will prepare a template document and send it to WG Technology. Thank you. And the next one, the history document for the 5G IF IEG, that is also the revision of MT 2020-91.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. And this is the document. We also had 2 input contributions. I think one in meeting 47 from 5GIF, the interim report, and the final report in meeting 48. Both the documents have been added into this template. Thank you.
Okay, so similar one, and from the 5G IF, the last row is added. Any difficulty with that? Seems not, then I will also prepare a temp document and send it to WG Technology. Then next. There's no any MT 2020 document number yet for the history document for WWRF. I will ask the counselor to help us to find one. Let's take a look at this document itself.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And yeah, so this is the first and the final report from WWRF. And I also spoke to the IEGs from WWRF. There was a statement which says more report or final outcome will be submitted in future report. I just informed that this is the last meeting for the report. So we just changed the text saying it's the final evaluation report. This is the history document for WWRF. Thank you.
Thank you. So that is a shorter one with the only final evaluation report involved in this activity. Any difficulty with that? Seems not then. Great, then I will also create a temp document and ask for the MT 2020 document number. Send it to the WG Technology. Thank you very much. So we have these three history document, and the next pack of the document, a GZG document. So those are summary based on the final evaluation report of each IEG. So there were the templates we created 2 meetings ago. So that those all the GZG are based on those templates. So let's start from the array as well.
About the other template for service by scroll down. So this has the summary of the requirements that concluded, and basically the spectrum requirements rebase the requirements for, whereas for the service requirements, the conclusion of the evaluation. Sorry, thank you. Yeah, so the ARIB has concluded that the proponent technology meets the spectrum requirements, whereas for the service requirements it is no, because it does not meet all the test environment that they have evaluated, excluding the rural EMBB was not evaluated in the report. And there was no additional methodology used by ARIB in their evaluation. That's all in the summary of this.
Thank you. So from this GZG document, I think most of the sections are already being filled by by ticking. So as a conclusion of the evaluation reports, so there's one a spectrum requirement that was met by their evaluation from ARIB. But for rest of them, service and also the 4 test environment out of a 5 test environment. So it seems this candidate technology cannot meet all the requirements based on the ARIB's evaluation. And I suppose there is no any evaluation to the testing environment of a rural EMBB. So that's kept blank.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope that is very clear to all of you. Is there any comments, question to this ZZZ document? Can we also approve this one? Seems not then. I will also create a new top document and send it to the WG Technology for the approval. Thank you. Then next is ZZZ from 5DIF.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, so in the 5GIF report, we found the compliance template for both spectrum services and the TPRs. And that's the section 2.2. All the three compliance templates were submitted. And according to the conclusion from the evaluation report, it meets the spectrum requirements, whereas it does not meet the service requirements. And the report included all the 5 test environments for all the 3 services, usage scenario, CMBB, URLC, and MMTC. And the report concluded that none of these test environments meet the minimum performance requirement. That's the conclusion of this report. So it does not meet the minimum requirement.
Thank you. So from the 5GAF, if you review the section 2.3, similar as the previous one, but I suppose the 5GAF did more evaluation. So that includes the rural EMBB test environment. So for all 5 test environment, and it seems the minimum technical performance requirement cannot be met by any of them. I hope that is also clear to the meeting. Any question, comments? Can they approve this one? Okay, so seems so. Then I can also create a temp document for this one and send it to WG Technology for their approval. Thank you. Then next. ZZZ documents for WWRF.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So in the WWRF report, there was no compliance template submitted in the evaluation report, but there was a section specifically on the conclusions. Let's say if you see in section 2.2, the compliance templates were not found in for all the 3 cases: services, spectrum, and TPR, technical performance. That's why it's no. And there was no specific conclusion on the spectrum requirements. The focus was only on the test environments for EMBB and MMTC. That's why you'll see that it only had summary for the service requirements. And the conclusion of the service requirement, it does not meet the EMBB and the MMTC user scenarios. And that is what is reflected here. Thank you.
Thank you. So as Mr. Deva just mentioned, there's no any compliance and template inside this final evaluation report. Instead, the evaluation results presented in the final report. So from that report, it also shows the sum of the requirements, including the service requirement and also minimum technical performance requirements from the 3 test environment. For those, they've already evaluated in the final report. Those cannot be met for the candidate technology. So I think that is a conclusion, and it's also remarked those compliance templates are not provided. I hope that is clear to all of you. Can we also approve this one?
Yeah, I think in both the documents we have this note, which I believe we need to delete it before we give it to the secretary. This was only for. Thank you.
I think that is already Thank you to remind me to delete that comment. Seems okay now. Then I will also create a temp document and send it to WG Technology. Thank you very much. Then the last one from this batch, we have this one, and I think that is more related to the outcome we are going to make later. So this is the summary of step 4 that kind of includes all the evaluation results from the 3 IEGs. So that will be more clear to us what kind of the final results from this activity. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And if the meeting agrees, then we could remove the editor note also and we forward to the for the processing. And here, the first table is where we need these 3 numbers. And if you scroll down, like we noticed earlier, there was no specific spectrum-related outcome in WWRF. That's what you see in the compliance template. There is no information for the third column, 5.4.2. The compliance, yeah. Exactly. And for the service requirement, all the 3 evaluation groups have reported that the candidate technology does not meet the minimum requirement. So that's no in all the 3 columns from for the service requirements. If you scroll down to the compliance template for technical performance requirements, so I made small changes when it was shared during the group, because what we had is config A/B/C. And we have double checked whether what are the configurations the IEGs have evaluated, and those configurations are listed along with the outcome, whether it is yes or no. That's what you see in the table here. And in the end, yeah, so this table basically summarizes all the outcomes of the evaluation from all the 3 groups. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. So first of all, I think the editor note at the beginning to be decided if this summary is still necessary or not. And we have the more than one IEG attending this activity. I think that would be good to have this summary to provide us a picture, the whole picture of these results of such kind of activity. So I suggest we just delete this editor note and keep this document. Is that fine to the meeting? There are several comments left. There's for the BR to help us to provide the new numbers. So just leave this here. So as a summary, we have the 3 IEGs. We have all the sources. And for service capability requirements, seems the technology cannot meet such kind of requirements. Spectrum, 2 of the IEGs indicates the technology can meet the requirements. And for the technical performance, that's case by case, but I see there are 2 yes, 3 yes in the table. But for the rest of them, we achieved the no. So that means the minimum requirements could not be met by those testing environments and those TPRs. I hope that is also clear to everyone, and we can use it to get our final conclusion. I see the hand raised by Arib.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good afternoon. Uh, this is I agree those information, but just a editorial comment under the 5GIF connection density. You still I think you still have an old notation like A slash B, but it should be A comma B in a table. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I suppose that's this place, the 5GF used to clarify.
Yes, Madam Chair. I'll just double check it. I think it is A comma B or just A. I'll just double check it. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for the careful checking for that. India, yes, please.
It's just a editorial suggestion. If you can put the yes in a color and no in another color, maybe very easy to pick up.
Yes, if that is easier for us to read it, it's fine. We can keep the no in the black color. Then maybe easier for me to change the, which color do you like? Maybe red. I hope I didn't miss any. I read, but is that hand like a seal?
Yes, I think it will be A comma B. Thanks, Honda-san, for the detailed look. Thank you. It's A comma.
Okay, all right, so it seems to no any other question, comments, then I think we get your help to make this document clear. We improve the edits here. So we can also create the temp document and send it to the WG technology to seek the approval. So we've already done this one, and I will keep it open because we're gonna use it when we discuss the further documents. Okay, so by this way, I really like to appreciate all the efforts from the IEGs and really like to appreciate Dr. Deva to help us to summarize all these documents. So,
Thanks. Thank you.
okay, so the next, as I also mentioned at the very beginning of this meeting, I think this Tuesday, we used to make a conclusion when we done the step 4. Then we will go to see how we can create a report for the one candidate submission, or I say the candidate technology of the MT 2020. But from the last round, when we evaluate the candidate technology, and at that time, that one failed to meet the requirements. So at the end of that activity, we create the one formal MT 2020 document instead of the report. But the structure of that document is exactly the same as the report. We also create that in structure of such kind of a document 2 meetings ago. So following that, I think in this meeting, quite similar situation happened. I would like to ask the meeting, is it still fine, still okay to create the MT 2020 document for such kind of activity and for this candidate technology for its final conclusion instead of a report? It's a matter works. Seems there's no any question, comments, and I believe the meeting is okay to follow that method. Okay, then I will, Arif, you have concern on that, please, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Not really a concern, but I remember that in the last round, I remember that the proponent, maybe I'm wrong, but we withdrew the proposal, or I'm not sure. So could you clarify that? If proposal is there, but maybe we may need to make a report, or maybe that's my just question. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I'm not sure whether I catch your comments. Do you like us to like the meeting to ask a proponent? So is there any procedure you like to? Can you clarify your comment?
Well, my understanding was that they, withdrew the proposal itself in the process. Then our action after that might be simpler than expected, but maybe we don't know. But if it is not the case in this process, in this cycle at this moment, so we may have to have another action, but this is just my question about the previous cycle, was previous process. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. So I try to recall myself what happened last time, but what I remember is we usually have the reports. That means after that report, so we're gonna have the quite official number of the M series, and we publish that report. So I think that question is quite a similar process we can do. Then finally, we just have a report and publish it. But in the last round, one of the difficulties is if that is the kind of a final report, we make it, then we will also send it to, for example, SG5 finally to approve this report. So I'm not quite sure whether the meeting feel that is really okay. We approve in the 5D and then also approve this report in the SG5. But if we make it as a MT 2020 document, then possibly we can close all the process inside the WP5D. So that is my understanding about how we made this document instead of a report in the last round. I hope that clarify. But actually, I'm open to say we create a report and the document. I think either of them would have the different kind of advantage for the meeting. Arif, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you very much for your clarification on the previous cycle. We of course we prefer the simpler process without a report to be sent to the study group 5, but instead the make a IMT 2020 document to record this activity. So that's for us that's a preference activity. But thank you very much for clarification about the previous cycle. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to reset. Then I think that's fine to the meeting. We just make a empty 2020 document. So now, and I already prepared a draft. I upload it to the SharePoint, so then you can also download and open that. So with that one, I would like to go into all the conclusion part firstly, to make sure we have the consensus on the conclusion. Then I wrap up this whole document. I hope we can done that today. So if you go to the section 5, it starts from step 4. We used to have the empty 2020 document 86. That was the document from the last round. You can see the change tracks. The reason is I used 86 as the kind of a baseline, and that's possibly be more convenient to you to see what have already changed. But actually, finally, we're gonna just use the clean one. If you find that it's very difficult for you to read it, then just tell me in the meeting. I can just show you the final version. Then possibly also easy for the meeting. Okay, just keep as it is. Then we take a look at this step 4. So this is section 5.1 is a result of step 4. And also step 5, but we start from step 4 first. So, and we have those, the IEGs attending this activity. We also have the evaluation group discussion area. So this discussion area, the web page already changed. So there's the change here. And we also changed the step 4 from the aspects of the schedule that is corresponding to the schedule and document 87, I believe. And the 3 IEGs engaged in the evaluation, as we all well know. And in this table, that is a summary. I think that is coming from the summary document we've just reviewed. So those the evaluation results from those documents based on their input contributions. Those are also final evaluation reports and also the history document. So 5.1.1, those are also summary of the evaluations received. And for these candidates RIT submission for new front. So we have the quite similar sentences, but because during this the new evaluation activity, the seems the IEGs made more efforts into the more testing environment, and so we rephrase all those sentences. So I leave it on the screen. You can review that, so whether those exactly correct. I think those are just derived from the summary. I didn't see any hand raised, so I suppose that summary is fine to you. And the table here, that is a summary of evaluation, and that was also derived from the summary document. That is kind of a summaries of summary. Okay, so we see no for this testing environment. I think just a coupling the ZZZ document. Then we can move on. Section 5.1.1.1. Those are references. And 5.1.2. So before the section 5.1.2, I think that we already got all the conclusion of the step 4. Okay. If there's no any question, comments, then I think we already complete step 4. Step 5, if we go into the section 5.1.2, so that is a kind of a summary of all the activities we did for the coordination of outside evaluation activities. So we used to have the section to record all these external external activities. And similarly, this time we also copied and all such kind of activities recorded in the chairman reports of WG technology aspects and also SWG evaluation. So I also leave you some time to read it. Screen. I guess for most of you, those texts are quite familiar because those were from the chairman report. Those are not really new texts. Any question, comments to that? Can we also accept all the text here? Seems that's the case. Thank you. Then going to the next, that is the results of step 6. So in this step, we look at this proposal for the RT and the SRT, and I think from this new candidate submission that is RAT, and see whether this RT fulfill the minimum requirements for the 5 testing environments comprising the 3 usage scenarios as we already defined in the MT20/2. And based on such kind of conclusion in the step 6, we will also decide whether we will go forward to further consideration in the step 7. So that's what we're gonna do. And in the section 5.2.1, that is results of assessment in the step 6. We just check whether such kind of candidate RT summation can fulfill all the 5 testing environments in 3 usage scenarios. So again, there's a table from the summary of the ZZZ. So from the Ariba IEG, they evaluated 4 testing environments, but unfortunately, so none of them can meet the minimum requirements. And the 5DIF, they evaluated totally 5. But you also observed none of them can meet the requirement. WWRF, they evaluated 3 of the 5, but those 3 cannot meet requirements. So could we get the bullet 2 from such kinds of the table of summary? These evaluation results, when taken together, demonstrates the candidate technology from 89 does not meet the minimum requirement for the 4 testing environment, comprising the 3 usage scenario. But I suppose that is a typo because I see that it's a 5 testing environment from 5DIF. Should be 05. Do I make it correct? I see the noting. Then with this bullet 2, I didn't see any hand raised. I think the bullet 2 is also agreed from the meeting. That is the conclusion. And then go forward to the bullet 3. With that, from the bullet 1 or 2, this candidate technology from 89 cannot be declared as a qualified RIT. Can we conclude as this way? Arib, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm sorry. Could you back to the bullet 1 and end of this bullet? You are talking about does not meet the minimum requirement for the originally 5 in a previous document, but now you can try to change to the 4. But what is the reason why we have a 4 test environments here? Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes, I just get the rural EMBB back. I check it's I double check it's from the 5GF. They evaluated 05 testing environment. I couldn't really remember how we did it, so we just have a kind of for all the testing environment, the IEG says no, then we count that number, or we just count the maximum number of the testing environment. But I'm open to that, so we can see 3 or we can see 5. I think for other 2, the one evaluate 3, the other evaluate 4. And I think only 5GF evaluate the rural EM. Any idea from you? Ariba, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I think this meeting the minimum requirement for 5 test environment is something required when you need to pass the step 6. Then reading this first bullet, it says difficult to view whether this technology meet or does not meet the 5 test environment in a previous document. So sounds like there's no conclusion for this because in a previous round you have no result. The result means no. Also, result indicate yes. So that's why you have a difficulties to make a conclusion. So, but this time there's nothing for yes, which means I don't. I'm I'm wondering maybe this first bullet is not necessary because it's saying that we have no conclusion in overall because we have both yes and no. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Good point. And this also reminds me of the history why we have this table of a bullet one. In the bullet two, we see these evaluation results when taken together. So possibly we still can have the bullet one, but we need to rephrase the sentences here. Shall we say like this way? Evaluation from IEGs and proponents. Evaluations from IEGs represents the results for each test environment. And we list these test environments that leads to the views that this candidate technology from 89 does not meet the minimum requirements for the 3405 test environment comprising the 3 usage scenarios. Is that clear? Is that better? I'm not sure whether proponents would be okay with this bullet because there used to be the proponents inside this bullet one. But so far I didn't receive any response from the proponents. Maybe it's okay, we just stated the results from the IEGs. India, then Arab, 5G AF.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah. So maybe we could just say the evaluation from IEGs or evaluations from IEGs represent the evaluation results from IEGs are represented in table below. Results from IEGs represented in the table below. Yes.
Delete all.
Yes. And then we have bullet 2, which says what the final conclusion is. That's easier to understand. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I think that is easier for me. So I think that is also go forward to the bullet 2. Everyone's happy? Seems that's the case. There's no hand raised. Okay, so we've already done bullet 1, 2. And I just ask you whether we can also agree the bullet 3. So from the 1 and 2, we declare that technology is not the qualified RIT. Seems that is the case. Thank you. Then the last bullet is related to the step 7. So when we see in the step 6, if one technology cannot be declared as a qualified RT, then that means it cannot go forward for further consideration in step 7. Because step 7 is a consideration of evaluation results, consensus building, and the decision. Can we also agree this bullet? Is that our conclusion? Seems that is a case. Thank you. Then we already done the step 6. Thank you very much. So without any further going forward to the step 7, we still have the section 5.3 to make this document complete. So this is the result of the step 7, but because this technology cannot go forward in this step, so we just remark not applicable for these consideration and consensus building decision sessions. Is that clear to everyone? Seems we have a consensus on that. Good, thank you. Then chapter 6. So we also have the step 8, but that is quite naturally, if we cannot move forward to the step 7, then that means there's would be nothing applicable to the step 8. So here in the step 8, we also have the not applicable to this candidate. Okay, so with that, in the revision of M.2150, there's no further consideration to update it based on this new submission. I think that is the final conclusion for this one. Thank you very much. Then I think we've already go through all these step 4 to step 7 and 8. Then we've already done that. Arif, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If you go back to the introduction section or before the step 4 section, there is a number of the circular letter. Okay, so you already modified. There must be something circular letter 94 in a main body, I found. If you go a little bit up, maybe down in the second page.
Here.
Yes, thank you.
What's the exact number? 104? 109. Thank you to point it out. But actually, I will go back to this beginning of the document later. Okay. So I think we've already done all the conclusion of these steps from 4 to 8. Then we will go back to the document from the beginning. I think there's a few places to look at the changes, whether those changes are proper or not. So starting from the first page, introduction. And the only change is the revision 3 of M.2150. Any difficulty with that? Then we move forward, and the second page, it just modifies the CCE number from 94 to 109. And there's also the schedule document also changed, 87, revision 2, and the number of the IEDs. And again, the schedule number, schedule document number. The rest are same. Okay. Then the references, they also the schedule one. Summary of a submission, change the number of the new submission, the number of the document of new submission. Okay. And from the chapter 5, there's a conclusion for the step 4 to 7. I think we can skip it because we already read all those texts. Then the same to the chapter 6. Then we go to Annex 1. So this is the index of MT 2020 documents for the read submission. So we change the document number and the name of this acknowledge and submission history correspondingly. So those are just based on the document we already have. Annex 2, summary and the detail of evaluation reports. So we updated it to the new ones. Those ZZZ documents. We will have the MT 2020 document number later from the counselor. So that is also the final part of this draft. Oh, I should say document draft. Okay. I didn't see any hand raised, so I guess I finished the wrap up of this document with all the conclusions. Okay. Thank you very much for your efforts on that. Then I would like to also thank you, the proponents IEGs. We together to get this outcome for that. I will create a temp document and send it to WG Technology for its final approval. Thank you very much. And rest of all, we have 2 liaison statements. We need to send those to IEDs and also proponents to inform them the final conclusion of this new submission. I also put those drafts into the share folder. You can also find them. Let me read the liaison statement draft to the proponent. This is a short one. Liaison statement to MT 2020 proponents new front. That is there's the title conclusion of the candidate technology 89 related to the proposal for the terrestrial components of the radio interface for MT 2020. So first paragraph, it says the 5D inform the proponents about the status. And this conclusion was made by this meeting, the 48th meeting. Any difficulty with the first paragraph? Seems not. Then second paragraph, we reach the conclusion. We just take a look at the conclusion. And this is the conclusion of the step 6. the technology cannot be declared as a qualified RT, defined in the MT 2020/2 revision 2. Consequently, it cannot go forward to further consider in the step 7 and cannot move to the step 8. So those are conclusion from step 6 to step 8. So as the results of the step 8, it cannot be included in the revision 3, M.50. I think that is clear to you. The text is also. Arib, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, it's clear, but just editorial comment. Very end of the this part, Division 3 of recommendation ITR M2150-2. So maybe we don't need the dash 2.
Yeah,
Thank you, Madam
you're
Chair.
correct. Thank you. They've already have the revision 3 at the beginning, then we don't really need to have a revision here. Okay. And the next paragraph. Document, yes, that is exactly the document we just created. We're gonna have the new number for that. And this is the oh, I deleted revision here, but forgot to delete /2 here. Okay, I made the same modification. I guess that's fine. 5GIF.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm just wondering, we used to have this acknowledgement sent to each of the IEG once they submit the report. So this is the conclusion. So do you have a draft for acknowledgement also for each IEGs?
Yes,
Okay,
next one.
thank you.
And the last paragraph is acknowledgement here to the proponent. I think the proponent also did quite a lot for the new submission and try to make their cooperation with the meeting. Okay, so new front, please.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair, and it means a lot to us. And also, we want to thank 5D for processing our proposal. And thanks to IEGs again for evaluating our technology proposal. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so seems that's all for this liaison statement. If there's no any comments, question to that, then I will also create the temp document, send it to the WG Tech for its approval. Thank you. Save it. I believe this is the last one for liaison statement to the independent evaluation groups. So the title is different from the acknowledge to the proponents. This is updates to the IEGs engaged in the evaluation of the new candidate technology submission for the revision 3. Then the first paragraph, I also like to appreciate the registered IEGs to attend this activity. It's also show our acknowledge here in the first paragraph. And the second paragraph is the same as what we did in the liaison statement to the new front proponent. I think that will be easier for the IEGs to find this document that will be published in the websites of the MT 2020. Any difficulty with this reason statement draft? Can we agree that? Seems that is the case. Thank you very much. Then I will also create the temp document and send it to the WG Technology for their approval. Thank you very much. Okay, so I think we've already done all the conclusions for these new submissions inside the MT 2020. And we've already done all the wrap up of the documents. Congratulations to us. And by this chance, I really like to appreciate the proponent who I think this is a second or third time they propose this new technology to the ITU. And I think that activity is also encouraged because the ITU is the place to open to all the technologies, and we discuss those technologies to see how we can develop the MT 2020 better, whether we have the chance to improve our future better. And I also like to appreciate all the IEGs and all the participants who join in such kinds of activities that really help the meeting quite much. Then we really carefully evaluate all these the technologies, including this one and all the previous ones. We really made a lot of efforts. And the point I would also like to point out is we did lots of coordination together, no matter inside the ITU or outside the ITU. I think that activity is really encouraged today and even in future. I think that would be very important for us, and all the compromise, the spirit is also quite appreciated. Thank you very much. I see the hand raised by Canada. Ben, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, indeed, we do thank the relevant IEGs that did work. The Canadian Evaluation Group was lazy this time around, didn't do anything. But principally, we should also thank you for having put all of these documents together, for having done the work in addition to your own IMT 2030 work that you're doing in parallel. So certainly, from a Canadian perspective, we would like to congratulate you on a job well done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, congratulations to all of you. So I think that some of you are the new ones who just attended MT 2030. We have the overlap between the MT 2020 and MT 2030 for the last whole year. So I think that is also a good experience to you. Then you may know how it would work in future for the MT 2030. So that is a kind of also the training from the meeting and how we're gonna work in the MT 2030 maybe 3 or 4 years later. So and we've already done that, and for tomorrow, we're gonna continue our work for the MT 2030 evaluation guideline report. So as I just announced, we're gonna start from the mapping of the testing environment and the usage scenarios. So if you really interested about those topics and like to join the email discussion, please contact the ladies there, the Miss Sonali and Miss Wang. Okay, so and all those contacts are also in the share folder. I think that's all for this session. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This meeting is adjourned.
Recording stopped.